Welcome, 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 people. Welcome to the Midday Live, Midday Live, Midday Live. I'm trying to eat today. Not get my life together today. So, welcome in. Today's topic is the conversation or the convenience trap. Today, we're going to be talking about the convenience trap and what that means, and what that means for you, what that means for me, what that means for us. This hair is not hearing today. The hair is not hearing today. For whatever reason, it's just not hearing, and it's not hearing. But today we're gonna be talking about the convenience trap and what that means, what that looks like, what that says. Um, Welcome to Zipmouth Motivation Show, where we do not sugarcoat. We don't sugarcoat. And I'm on two platforms. So if I miss your comment, I do apologize in advance. But I am on two different platforms. But we do not glamorize comfort, and we do not confuse ease with elevation, because that's the space that we live in right now. We live in an ease space. Today's episode is going to challenge something subtle in you. Not trauma, not trauma, not trauma, not lack, not mindset alone. We're talking about convenience. And I'm doing this podcast, y'all, or this show, y'all, because let me tell you, for the last couple of weeks or months or whatever, I have been struggling with transportation. And so I have been trying to, or I have had to use things that are freaking convenient that I normally wouldn't do, right? But the way I've been viewing it though is kind of like, if you're a person that has to do this year after year after year, day after day after day, this thing gets frustrating. And it's almost like you can never get out of the space. I looked at my app the other day. I realized I spent in 1 month like 500 and something dollars in Uber. I was like, what? Unbelievable, like unbelievable. I was like, this is crazy. Like, this is crazy. So people who have to do this every single day, every year after year, I commend y'all. Like, I really do commend y'all, because I understand the frustration of that space right now. But today's episode, like I said, we're going to talk about convenience, because convenience feels harmless. Like, it feels harmless, and it feels modern, because we're like, you got to keep up with the times. You got to keep up with the times. And it feels efficient. But when you really think about it, convenience costs you more than you doing it yourself. But what happens is when convenience quietly turns into, like, it turns into a weakness. And I'm not saying that like to be negative, but I'm saying that to be honest. Like, it turns into a weakness. Happy Tuesday, love. So what happens is when ease becomes like a dependency thing, like, I know, like, we all want an easy life. I want an easy life. Like, I want to feel like I'm in my soft girl era. I don't ever think I've been in the soft girl era in my life, but I want to feel like it. And with this convenience thing, it becomes like your main source of, like, I want to be convenient. I want everything in my life to be convenience. But I got a new view of convenience. It's a trap. Like, convenience is a trap. Let's be clear. The convenience trap is when you choose ease over necessary, right? Choosing that ease over the necessary thing. You avoid discomfort at all costs. And I'm that person. I like to be comfortable. I like to be at peace. I like to be in my space. Y'all, like, told y'all, this hair is not here in the day, but we're gonna let it go. um, you build your life around minimizing efforts. You know what I'm saying? You expect speed instead of stamina. And so when you start expecting speed instead of stamina, you start weakening yourself, your mind, your body, your spirit. You start weakening different things about you. And you may not realize it, because we're trying to keep up with the times. Like, we are trying to be efficient. We're trying to live in a modern state. And so people are like, oh, when you start doing things like I baked bread a couple of weeks ago. When you start doing things like baking bread, it's like, oh, that's gonna take me too long. I don't have enough time in my schedule. But you really do, because I feel like I'm always busy. But I had time enough to make some bread, let it sit for a little while, bake it, and then them eat it in one gulp. But I had time to do that. We live in a world of like instant food, instant validation, instant entertainment, instant delivery, and instant opinions. It's like, think about it. When someone texts you, right? And they don't, like, you text somebody and they don't immediately text you back, you getting frustrated. Like, you looking at your phone and you like, well, why didn't you say nothing? Because it's a text message. It's a text message. It doesn't have to come right back to you. And I know people are looking at that like, oh, well, that's the way of times. But when you really think about it, you can actually pick up the phone. That time, that 30 seconds you took the text, that you could have picked up the phone and just said that to them. And so growth has never been instant. Like, it has never been like a fast thing to grow. And when your life is built around immediate gratification, your resilience weakens. And it weakens quietly. And so even through like my situation, I've been thinking like, man, uh-uh. Like, no, this ain't for me. Now, I have one person, I'm gonna be honest, y'all. I do order groceries. And I order groceries because most times I'm out and about and I'm running around and my kids are like, hey, we want this and we want that, or we need this and we need that. And so it's just easier at that moment for me to just order it because I know I'm not gonna come right back and give it to them. But if they had transportation, they would definitely be getting sent some money and go ahead and go to the store yourself and get what you need. Because after you order that stuff and then you got to pay a $9 fee and all of that stuff, that's like wild. In my mind, it's wild. But just think about it. Convenience isn't easy, but dependency on convenience is where it gets dangerous. And so this is the dangerous spot that I feel like we're in. We're in this spot where we're dependent on the convenience. Because if it's not there, then we don't know what our next move is. Right, Yoli, right. We don't know what our next move is. Here's the psychological side of it, because y'all know, like, I'm definitely a mindset coach, but so I got the psychological side to this, right? The psychological side, the brain loves ease. The brain loves ease. 100%, hands down. I'm telling y'all, the brain, I'm taking this hair down, y'all, because I don't know why this hair not hearing today, but the brain loves ease, right? It loves ease. When something isn't fast, simple, fractionless, your brain releases dopamine, right? So when your brain starts to release that dopamine, it starts like releasing this dopamine, right? But here's the problem. Dopamine without discipline builds impulse. So if you have that dopamine release, now you don't have discipline because you're dependent on convenience. Now you're going to impulse. Like, everything has to be fast. Right, yo, like smoking cigarettes. You know what I'm saying? Now you got that dopamine release, and now you feel like, I gotta do this motion. I gotta have this thing. You know what I'm saying? So when that dopamine release, now it's impulsive. You can't control it anymore. So when you're dependent on convenience, you can no longer control not having that convenience. Because you feel some type of way. You feel like, oh, this ain't mine. You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't it for me. When you're instant, like when you're constantly choosing scrolling over reading, ordering over cooking, and now the year before last, this was my big thing. And I had to get out of it myself. So I'm not telling y'all nothing that I don't go through myself or I haven't been through myself. But I had to get out of like the convenience of ordering over cooking. I feel like I'm so busy, so I'm running around, and I can't really sit down and cook a meal until I really thought about it. Like, okay, I'm spending like $30, $40, $50, $60 a day because it's 3 people that live in my home. So I'm spending like $60 a day on ordering food for us to eat when initially I could really cook this food. Like, the same things that I buy in the store, I can really cook them and probably cook them faster than me waiting on the food to come or spending that $60. So I had to take that rationalization and be like, okay, you know what? I am no longer going to order food. I'm going to go ahead and cook the food. So, and I'm a great cook. I'm not like patting myself on the back, but I am a little bit. I'm a great cook, so I can cook the food. When you're constantly choosing avoid over confronting, and this is the big thing with convenience. We want to avoid everything because we want this soft life and we want everything to regulate around who we are and what we're doing and how things are flowing in our life. And so we can't be bothered. We can't be bothered. But I thought about it like a few weeks ago, how I was telling one of my friends, I was telling her, like she was ordering like a whole bunch of stuff. And I was like, girl, I said, oh, you rich. And she was like, I'm not rich. I really don't have the. And I was like, no, girl, you rich. Because if you don't have it, why are you doing it? Impulse. What I just said. The brain loves things to be fast, simple, fractionless, so it can release that dopamine. Now you have that impulse. When you start constantly choosing quitting over pushing, you train your brain to avoid resistance. And resistance is where strength is built. So when we walking around this world and we talking about people are so weak today, they don't understand, they weak minded, they weak this and they weak that. That's because we have been taught this convenience. We have rewired our mind to look for convenience. So we're teaching our brain like to avoid restraints, to resist. Here's where it gets a little bit deeper though, right? And y'all know, like, I really studied this thing. I really studied this because I've been going through like I had no choice but to use convenience. But when I realized it, I was like, man, the system really tricking people. They are really tricking people. Convenience doesn't just affect behavior, it affects your identity. You start saying stuff like this. And the last one is definitely me. I don't like things hard. That's too much. I'm not built for that. I don't know how many times I hear people say this. I'm not built for that. And I just want peace. That's my favorite thing to say. I just want peace. So if convenience is going to make me at peace or feel at that moment I'm at peace, of course. But sometimes peace is disguised with avoidance. Just like I said, the simplest thing. Last year, I promise you, $60 a day. Every other day, I'm ordering food. Sometimes I would cook dinner and still order my kids like a snack or something. I got sons, so they like to eat. When really, I could just get up and I could just go to the store and I could just make different things or snacks or whatever it is that they need. Strength is built through friction. Confidence is built through effort. And clarity is built through discomfort. So when you're always trying to pull in that convenience, I need things to be convenient. I need things to be this way and that way. That's when you start pushing past the fact that I need to be able to be strong. I need that strength. I need that ability, that gift to be strong. If everything in your life must feel smooth, you will avoid the very thing that elevates you. And this is where the problem comes in. Because if we're always looking for conveniences, everything has to be instant all the time. We're not building that strength. We're not getting used to that resistance. We're not getting used to that push pass because we're avoiding it. We're avoiding what is going to elevate us and take us to the next step. I don't know. I'm a little bit older than a lot of people. So when you think about like your grandparents or your aunts and your uncles, and you think about like I'm from the country, so when you think about them baking things or you think about them putting together a car, I don't know. I think I seen my uncle put together a car before. I don't know, but he maybe put together the engine or something. And you think about the patience, the resistance, the mindset, and everything that came along with that, and the ability to learn that skill. That's where your power comes from. That's where your strength comes from. That's when 16 doors close on you, you looking for a job, and everybody tells you no, 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 no. But you keep going instead of expecting that you're going to go out one day, you're going to fill out 10 applications, and all of those people are going to directly call you back. Because life is really not that convenient. Life is not that convenient. But in our minds, because our brains love that ease, we want to make life that convenient. But life is not that complete convenient. So let's talk about the consequences when you always choose convenience, right? Your discipline weakens. What I just said, that discipline starts to weaken because I want things fast. I want the soft life. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to have, and I'm not telling you like everything is going to be hard. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is sometimes things are not going to be convenient, and that's okay. That means you push past that inconvenience, that discomfort, you push past, and you have discipline to get to the next space. When you always choose convenience, your patience shortens. That goes back to the simplest thing as a text message. For whatever reason, people feel like when you text them or when they text you, you have to respond immediately. But I teach my clients, I tell them, no, don't respond. Think about it. Be intentional when you're doing things. Be intentional when you're communicating. Because when you're intentional, you get more out of it. But the whole thing is they probably, or you probably could have just picked up the phone and had that conversation. That's simple. Just, hey, what are you doing? And I know people like, well, you never know what people are doing. When did we start getting concerned about what people were doing when we were calling them? If they don't answer, you just call them back later. No big deal. But that dopamine has been released in our body so much to want that instant gratification. We no longer want to be in that patient space. When you choose convenience, your emotional tolerance shrinks. So I want you to think about like the most frustrating thing when you're going somewhere, you're in the store, you're in a line, right? A lot of people go to Walmart. I don't like Walmart, and I don't like Walmart because I don't want to bring out my own groceries. But I have no choice but to go there because it's conveniently down the street from my house. But when I go in Walmart, there's always some people that are like frustrated because the lines are long. They're frustrated because they do have to check themselves out. They're frustrated because of X, Y thing. They never have stock up, and there's always a bunch of people in the aisle stocking, taking up the aisles, not wanting to move because they feel like I'm working. Y'all just in here shopping, and it's the reality. But nobody has patience anymore. Nobody has patience. There's going to be lines when you go in Walmart. Everybody loves Walmart. They like to go there. It's convenient, quote unquote. There is going to be, you're going to have to check yourself out because that's how they run their program. So if you don't want that convenience, that means that I have to go a little bit further down the street to Target. Or I have to go a little bit further down the street to Publix, where there's always more cashiers. Yeah, they have a self-checkout, but I don't have to check myself out because I'm guaranteed to be able to get in the line and get through Publix real fast, or Target, or any place like that. You know why? Because those places are not convenient. And people will say, oh, I don't go to Target because it's too expensive. Target has a clearance, and their clearance is better than Walmart. Their food is safer than Walmart, but we like convenience. When you always choose convenience, your attention span declines. Think about it. How many people can really sit down and watch not a movie, not talking about a movie, but how many people can really sit down and watch a teaching experience, a TEDx? After a while, you find yourself like scrolling through it, like fast forwarding through things. You watch a video, they tell you like on social media, watch my video all the way through so that I get, like I get the likes or I get the views for it. How many of y'all literally do not watch videos all the way through? You listen to the first 15, 20 seconds, and then your brain is like, oh, scroll, convenience. So, like I said before, convenience can be a great thing, but it also could be a dangerous thing. Because with that convenience, we don't even take the time out. A lot of us don't take the time out to conveniently like read things. We'll get a long document and we'll just sign it. We'll skim through it and we'll sign it. So the mindset is, what's convenience? Is this a modern thing or is this a thing to trick you? And you have to think about it. Because like I said, I've been going through, I'm like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. The other day I ordered something, I had to order something that was like $10 and I ended up paying $20 for it. I was like, oh no, oh no, 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 no. Because I'm like, oh, my deckies. And like I said, I grew up in the country. So if I grew up in the country, I know how to bake cakes, I know how to bake pies, I know how to make everything from scratch. I absolutely don't know how to make nothing out of the box. I never made hamburger helper before. I don't know how to do those things. But it was convenient last year for me to order food for my kids because I was on the move, I was on the go. Instead of planning and saying, okay, you know what? I'm gonna throw something in the crock pot. I'm gonna put the rice cooker on. And those are simple things, convenient, but not taken away from who you are and what you provide. And that's a great thing. That is a great thing because you don't lose your identity in the convenience. When you're always choosing convenience, your confidence becomes fragile because now you have become dependent on convenient things. Everything has to be fast. I was really proud of my son the other day. He got up early in the morning on the Saturday. Now I'm old school. We're not getting up on the Saturday, but I realized, well, he goes to school, so he can't get up on a Monday. He got up on the Saturday. He was like, Mom, I'll be back. So I was like, wait, where you going? He's like, I'm getting on the bike. I'm going to fill out applications. He just finished with basketball, so he's ready to get a job. He went and filled out applications. He was gone for a good little minute. And when he came back, I told him, I said, I'm really proud of you because you didn't say like, oh, I need somebody to take me here. I need to do this. You seen an opportunity and you took it and you did it on your own. And then he came back, he was filling out some applications. He was like, okay, I'll be back. I was like, where are you going? He was like, oh, they told me to fill the application out and come back for the interview. There are some grown adults that think that is too much inconvenience for them. And I had to sit back and think like, man, I really taught these kids independence and not to depend on anything or anyone. You have to be able to do it yourself. Because you lose completely who you are when you start depending on convenient things. When you start depending on someone to open doors for you instead of kicking doors open with your abilities, with your gifts, with your mindset, with your strength, just with your knowledge. If you don't know how to do something, how many of y'all like really watch YouTube University? The simplest things. A funny story. I got stuck. The car that I had is not working. I got stuck out. I couldn't get in the car at all because it's a keyless entry. It was just a big debacle. But my friend Yoli was at my house, and I was like, "Listen, we got to get in this car." We could have called a man. We could have called a tow place. I could have called the insurance and had them people come out and do whatever, and they would have charged me and all this other stuff. Guess what we did? We figured it out. It was crazy. It was crazy, but we got into the car. The car alarm started going off because now the car is thinking it's being stolen. But guess what I did? I popped the hood, I unhooked the battery, and then I hooked it back up again. I hooked it back up again, got in the car with the key, put it in the little place where you can crank it up if the battery's not working, and we went on about our business. We could have used a convenient tool, but instead Let's go on YouTube. I told you, Yoli, the first, I said, go on Google and ask Google such and such and such. How do you get into a Chevy 2019 Malibu without the key, without the keyless entry? And it was funny though, and it was hot because I was sweating afterwards. But we did it. And that's the part. When you start looking at convenience, you lose that confidence to believe in your own abilities, like your own strength, your own knowledge. Exactly, exactly. I'm on two platforms, so yes, Yoli, we used our mind, and we did it. We did it. If you remove difficulty, you remove growth. Because I don't know why people think that it's easy to grow. It's not. It's hard. It's frustrating. You get angry. You get sad. You get depressed. There are days that you want to give up and you don't want to fight anymore. And you don't even believe in anything that anyone is telling you. And I promise you, even as a mindset coach, sometimes I get frustrated. Sometimes I get down. Sometimes I feel like, oh no, this is not going to happen. This is not, I don't know what else to do. That's normal. That's human behavior. That is normal human behavior. Because then you have to talk to yourself. You got to say to yourself, like, hey, you know what? I know it's hard. I know it's frustrating, but you got to pick yourself up. But if you're always looking for convenience, you're looking for someone to tell you something, you're online and you're looking for somebody to give you a word, you're no longer believing in who you are and what you can do and what your abilities and your gifts and your power and your strength is. So how do you keep going when all of that stuff is silent? Convenience makes life easier in the moment, but harder in the long term. And I always have to use the example like of being a parent, right? I have two sons, and a lot of people were telling me like they're like, you cannot raise two boys by yourself. Da, da, da. They're gonna act like girls, and they like so many things, like so much negativity I heard about being, like being a single parent for so long. And I teach my kids independence. At a certain age, when they start going to their doctor's appointments, I'm no longer filling out paperwork. I'm telling them before you go to the doctor, write down what you want to ask. What's going on with you? I don't know what's going on with you. You know. I kept them around men that were strong and that could talk to them, and that if they couldn't talk to their mom, they could talk to them. But we have an open relationship because I sit down and I take out the time to talk to them. I'm not always like looking at my phone, or I'm not always, trying to find a convenient way to have them here and have them there. I was one of those parents that's like, if my kids can go, I ain't going. I'm good. Not always looking for the convenience, but looking for what ability, what strength, like what can I do? What is my, like what am I implementing? And I implemented that independence. Teaching them how to cook. Listen, come in the kitchen and cook with me. I don't care about people saying this is a girl thing. No, this is an everybody thing. Because if you can't do anything, at least you can take care of yourself. And not cook simple things. These people cook greens and macaroni and cheese. They cook everything. And like I said, my son got up. He decided, like, I'm gonna get on this bicycle and I'm going to go and fill out applications. That was his choice. I didn't say, hey, you better get up and you better start looking for a job. Me personally, I don't want him to have a job right now. I want him to get out of school. But his choice is, I want to work. Okay, good. That's what you want to do. Let's bring this convenience mindset into income, right? Because everybody likes to talk about money. Convenience mindset is business, and business sounds like I need quick money. I need fast results. If it doesn't work immediately, I'm done. I don't want to learn that. It's too complicated. And I think that's the biggest one. Like a lot of times people will be saying like, I don't want to learn that skill. I want to have a business and I want to be able to support people in my community. And I'm seeing that this is an issue in my community, but I don't want to learn that skill. That's crazy. I'm not saying that everybody has to go to school because, school isn't for everybody. But learning is, reading is, understanding is, putting yourself in different spaces that support what you do and who you are. That is. If it doesn't work immediately, I'm done. Let me tell you something. If you are a business owner or you are even a skilled worker, things are not going to happen immediately. You're not going to walk right into a job all the time and they're going to put you at the top. That's impossible. Now, some people have that ability, but others have to work to get to that space. And you're going to get knocked down. It's going to get frustrating. Yes, people are going to promote over you. When I was in the working world, I felt like in the beginning of my career, people always were being put over me. I felt that with I was like, man, I'm investing my time and my energy into this. And then I said, you know what? Let me ask these people what they're doing. I was like, let me ask them what they're doing. And you know what they told me? I'm getting knowledge. I went to this class. I got this certificate. I did this. I did that. I was like, oh, I started getting smart. Subtle income requires skill building, patience, systems, repetition, all the things that we have a hard time doing at this stage in our life, but this is what it requires. And the big one is patience. The biggest one is patience. If you need income to feel easy before you commit, you will stay broke. You will 100% stay broke. Thank you for the heart, me. You will stay broke. Wealth is built through discipline, not convenience. Not convenience. Now let's bring this convenience into relationship, right? Convenience in relationships are emotionally shallow. Everything has to be fast. Nobody's taking the time to get to know each other. It's just like we're just jumping into things. And you see this every day, though. You see this every day. And when you see that emotionally shallow relationship where nobody's having even the simplest conversation, it's always like a goodbye, hello, like minimal conversation. But what about the deep things? Because people don't realize when you start going beyond the convenient relationship and you start going deep and you start getting to know each other, you get to know why you are connected. Oh, wait, that's you? Hey, I want to do that too. Oh, you already got some knowledge on that? Oh, look what I got. You start combining things. Convenient relationships are low effort, low accountability, and low confrontation. So when you think about relationships, and I'm not just talking about romantic, I'm talking about friendships. I always talk on my show about how when you're in friendship or relationship with someone, family ship or romantic ship, whatever ship you're in, you should be supporting each other in some kind of way. In some kind of way, you should be able to support each other because you have that ability, you have that gift. You avoid hard conversations when you're looking for convenience. You avoid boundaries. You avoid growth because ease feels safer. It feels safer to just randomly do things, to have surface level conversations. I don't want to go deep because I don't want to change. I don't want to tell you the real me because I'm scared you'll leave. I don't want to express myself to you because it's more convenient for me to hide. Because ease feels safer than truth. And I like last week I told a couple of people, I said, I'm convinced you just like people to lie to you because you don't want to deal with the reality of who you are or what you're doing or what you bring to the table because dealing with that reality makes you feel bad. But dealing with that reality shouldn't make you feel bad. It should make you want to grow. And it should make you want to grow beyond who you are, what you bring, what you say, your ability, your gift, your power. But truth builds the connection. Avoidance builds distance. And that's distance in every aspect, relationship, work relationship. Or you can go in the office every single day and you can say, like, I'm not talking to nobody. I'm not here to make friendships. I'm not telling you to make friendships. I'm telling you to make connections. Because I don't feel like anything in this life, right? Anything in this life is about just like, oh, yeah, this is random. Everything happens for a reason. You're in that space for a reason. And you may hate your job, you may hate the people that you work with, but there is always a reason that you're there. And people say, yeah, to get a check. You think that's the only reason? Getting a check is easy. Money is easy. Money flows to you. Money, you're not working for the money. You're there for a reason. Because you know you're going to get a check. That's something that you know you're going to happen. That's something you know is that's a given. But what else? What else? Because there's something else. And here's the real question. Are you protecting your comfort or expanding your capacity? That's the question. Are you protecting your comfort? Because aren't y'all sick of like protecting comfort zones, comfortable spaces, going in cycles? So are you expanding your capacity? Because capacity grows. Capacity grows when you grow. Stay in the gym 10 minutes longer. If you go to the gym, I love the gym, y'all. But and I haven't been able to go. But when you're in the gym, stay in there 10 minutes longer. Time it. All right. I said I was gonna stay here for an hour, but guess what? I'm gonna set the timer. I'm gonna stay here 10 minutes longer. Have an uncomfortable talk. I teach my clients all the time is to have uncomfortable talk. Speak about things that you normally wouldn't speak about. Talk to people that you normally wouldn't talk to. And sometimes, you know what kills convenience is sitting with boredom. You don't have to show up to everything. You don't always have to be the life of the party. In my home, we have moments like some days, like we have a very good relationship in my home. And some days, one of us doesn't want to talk. We don't get frustrated or upset or make that other person feel some type of way. It just doesn't, or he or me or whatever. We just don't want to talk that day. Not staying in the room or not being, rude to anybody. Maybe speaking a little bit, but maybe I don't know. One week I realized that one day we all had our headphones on and we were just moving in rhythm. And then at the end of the night, because usually at the end of the night we sit down and we have conversations, and we all sat down in the living room, and everybody was like, "Is everybody okay?" It was like, "Yeah, just vibing, sitting in boredom, sitting in the thoughts." And we started talking about what we were thinking about as we were listening to our headsets or, whatever. Not on our phones, just listening to our headsets. Because I teach my kids to put your phone on do not disturb too. It's okay. It is okay to put your phone on do not disturb. And then delay gratification. You're right, Dre. Sometimes your time is just space. That's all you need. Delay gratification. Last year, I completely took Uber Eats off my phone. I took Uber Eats off my phone because I was ordering too much. too much. Sometimes you have to delay the gratification. Yes, I feel like doing this thing and it would be convenient for me to do this. But you know what? Nope, I'm gonna get my lazy butt up. I'm gonna get in my car and I'm gonna go to the store and I'm gonna do this. No, I'm not gonna sleep till 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna get up at 8 o'clock in the morning and I'm gonna start building something on my business. I'm gonna go live, or I'm going to, finish an order that I needed to finish. Or I'm gonna make some calls, or if you I don't know, like I'm gonna hand out flyers or whatever you do. Delay that gratification. Yesterday, one of my friends needed me. I stayed up to 3 o'clock in the morning. When 6 o'clock came this morning, I did not want to get up. But I had emails to answer. I had people to talk to. I had business to get to. So that the gratification of laying in the bed all day, no. I had to get my butt up. Build even when things are slow. Even when you don't see that instant thing coming to you, keep going. Keep going. Just because you don't see it happening right then, the work that you're putting in, the things that you're investing, they're getting you there. They're getting you closer. It took me like 2 years in my business to get my first client. 2 years, I was frustrated. I was like, maybe this isn't the thing for me. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe I could do this thing. Maybe I could do this thing. And I remember there was an older gentleman. And I don't know why he said this to me, but we were standing in a line at a grocery store. And I remember he turned around and he said, "You look frustrated." And I was like, "Oh, a little frustrated." He said, "Keep going. Keep going." And you have to do that. Just keep going. Keep pushing yourself. Don't wait for the convenient time. Do it anytime. That time, now time, tomorrow time. Do it now. Capacity requires friction. If you want to grow, if you want to get to that next level, if you want to step beyond who you are and the normal, you want to break those cycles, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be convenient. It's not going to happen today, tomorrow, next year. It took me 15 years to change my life, to get to this space. Just to this space. Because I feel like I still got more time and more things that I want to do. 15 years, that sounds like a long time, right? It was. And it wasn't easy. It was lots of tears. It was lots of frustration. It was lots of hurt. It was lots of losing people. It was a lot of pushing myself. It was a lot of staying up to 3 o'clock in the morning and then getting back up at 6 in the morning, 5 in the morning. It was lots of that. Nothing was convenient. Nothing is convenient. In my situation now, people would say, "Oh, well, I would love to do." And I'm thinking about it like, absolutely not. I don't understand how y'all do this. When I looked at that thing for the month and it said, oh, it was $539 for Uber, I was like, oh, baby, no. What I could do with $539? Wild. If you remove the friction, you remove the expansion. And let's not shame this. Convenience does feel good, especially when we're tired, when we're overstimulated. And I'm a person that gets overstimulated, overwhelmed when we're seeking relief. But relief is not the same as growth. Convenience is a tool, not a lifestyle. And I just had to learn that. Convenience is a tool, not a lifestyle. They say too much of anything. Right. Dre said they said too much of anything is bad for you. But we have modernized convenience to be a lifestyle. It's not a lifestyle, it's a tool. Use it. Don't become dependent on it. Don't become dependent on it. Start choosing small, intentional discomfort daily. Small, intentional discomfort daily. Just small things. I ain't telling y'all to go hard or go home. And that's usually my saying, go hard or go home. Cook instead of order. Read instead of scroll. Train. Train yourself to focus. Oh, thank you. Train yourself to focus. Delay purchases. Sit in silence. And then finish the hard task. After this live, I'm finishing this hard task. I've been beating myself up for the last couple of days. I'm at the end of this task. And guess what? I don't want to finish because I'm tired. But I have to finish. Finish the hard task. Strength grows through repetition of effort. Discipline grows through consistency, not intensity. And I'm going to say that again. Discipline grows through consistency, not intensity. And that's where the growth comes from. And y'all just excuse me for 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. I know y'all like this girl is crazy. A little bit. A little bit crazy. Mental strength isn't loud. It's built quietly. When you do what you said you would, you stay when it's boring, commit when it's slow, and resist impulsive decisions. You don't need to imitate convenience. You need to balance with challenges. And that's where your growth comes from. Ease should be earned. It's almost like when you're saying like, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to lose weight, and I'm going to have a cheat day. It's okay to do that. But all through that other days, you've been working hard, you've been doing your thing, you've been pushing. That's when you've earned, not expected. And that's when it becomes important. And let me leave y'all with this, because I know I done had some of y'all here for hours. Let me leave you with this. Convenience is comfortable, but comfort is not strength. If everything must feel easy, you will shrink your potential to match your tolerance. I'm going to say it again. If everything must feel easy, you will shrink your potential to match your tolerance. And we're not shrinking, we're growing. The only way for you to sustain in this crazy life, in this crazy world, is to grow. Growing is knowing. Myself feel good now that I caught. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. And I appreciate y'all for staying. I appreciate y'all for tapping into the live and just continue to support me. If you avoid resistance, you avoid growth. And growth is never convenient. It's never convenient. I don't care how you want to chalk it up, how you want to think about it. It's never convenient. Things get better. And sometimes people say they get worse before they get better. But tap into your strength today. Tap into your ability. Tap into your mindset, the way you think. Tap into that thing today because it's time. Y'all know, I'm gonna tell y'all what I did. And thank y'all for watching. I put my phone on do not disturb. Do y'all know how many people have just caught and it says like busy. They are sending this is crazy. Y'all see what I'm saying? Convenience because they want me to respond right now. And that's not how it goes. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Enjoy your day. I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day. And catch my live later. Let me see if I can get this thing up.